every controversial video game explained.
Let's start with the least controversial.
Whoa! What's this shit, YouTube? Okay.
And then gradually move on to the extremely offensive. Manhunt, probably the most infamous of all these games, is a stealth-based survival horror video game developed by Rockstar North and published by Rockstar Games. It was originally released in 2003. The game puts you in the shoes of James Earl Cash, a death row inmate who is led to believe he will be executed. However, he wakes up to find that he has been spared in order to participate in a twisted game. Cash is forced to navigate through a series of dilapidated, dangerous environments while being hunted.
Dilapidated? A state of disrepair or ruin. Word.
Let's start with the least controversial, and then Rockstar Games. Cash is forced to navigate through a series of dilapidated, dangerous environments while being hunted by gangs of deranged killers. The game's antagonist, Lionel Starkweather, also known as the Director, orchestrates the entire game, ordering James to kill his pursuers in increasingly violent ways. Playing Manhunt involves a lot of sneaking around. The game lets you use different methods to defeat enemies, from suffocating them with plastic bags to using guns to take them down. The game, due to all the violent content, has been banned in several countries. In New Zealand, the game was banned a month after it came out.
Yo, talking New Zealand, GG's!
Making it illegal to own a copy. The main reason was
Dude, you could go to jail for having that? Dude, imagine some New Zealand guy like Yuxel. Not Yuxel. Vigo had this game and he got taken to prison for it.
It was banned a month after it came out, making it illegal to own a copy. The main reason was the game's focus on killing, which the chief censor, Bill Hastings, believed could negatively affect players. However, in 2023, the ban was reconsidered, and Manhunt was given a rated 18 classification, meaning it's now allowed for adults over 18. Though over in Australia, Manhunt was first given a mature 15+ rating, which meant it was suitable for teenagers and adults. But in
Dude, what is this haircut? Yo, chat, if you guys actually have this haircut, dude, you're a femboy.
Mature 15+ rating, which meant it was suitable for teenagers.
Dude, that's dead ass a perm. He's got a low taper fade like Ninja.
And adults. But in September 2004, after a push from Attorney General
God, it's Tim Sweeney, dude.
Philip Ruddock, the game's rating was overturned and it was banned. This led to a recall of the game from stores, even though it had already sold over 18,000 copies. Despite the controversy, Rockstar actually made a sequel. Manhunt 2 introduces a new story with Daniel Lamb, a man who wakes up in a dilapidated mental asylum with no memory of his past. He quickly discovers that he is a subject of a secret research project gone awry. Daniel escapes the asylum with the help of Leo Casper, a sociopathic assassin who guides him throughout the game. The narrative unfolds as Daniel tries to uncover his past and understand his connection to Leo, all the while being hunted by the mysterious project, which seeks to silence him and Leo permanently. The sequel was, again, controversial for its depiction of violence, leading to the game being edited to blur out the most graphic scenes to achieve a less restrictive rating. And due to its graphic violence, it was censored and banned in several countries, including Australia again, and received an adults-only rating by the ESRB, which means it couldn't be sold in video game stores in America, or allowed on any of the major consoles, before being edited again to receive only a mature rating. Custer's Revenge is an infamous video game released in 1982 for the Atari 2600. It was developed by Mystique, a company that specialized in adult video games, and it quickly became one of the most controversial titles in video game history. The game's premise involves the player controlling a pixelated figure of General George Armstrong Custer, a general who fought in several wars against Native Americans, depicted wearing literally nothing but a cavalry hat. The aim of the game is to attempt to cross a field and reach a Native American woman tied to a—
How the hell is this controversial, dude? When it's literally played on an Atari, dude. Like, it's literally like a 2D game.
Once you've reached it, you mash the action button as fast as you can to go in and out. The game was obviously criticized for promoting violence against women and being racially insensitive. Custer's Revenge was never officially banned in the United States, but its sale was highly restricted. Many retailers refused to carry the game, and it was sold mostly in adult stores. The controversy did lead to discussions about the need for content ratings in video games, which would later result in the establishment of the...
Dude, I've never seen this shit before. I've only seen E, T, M, and that's it.
ESRB in the 1990s, although this was more directly a result of other controversial games and ongoing debates about video game content. Despite, or perhaps because of, its controversial nature, Custer's Revenge became infamous. It is often cited in discussions about the worst and most offensive video games ever made, though the creator of the game states that Custer was only seducing the maiden and that she was a willing actor. KZ Manager is an extremely controversial video game that first appeared in the late 1990s. It is a browser-based, text-oriented management simulation game where the player assumes the role of a concentration camp commander.
Dude, who would make a game out of this? Who would make a game out of this?
Commander during World War II. The game's objective is fairly simple, as it involves the management of a camp with the aim of maximizing profits through the exploitation and extermination of prisoners. The controversy surrounding KZ Manager obviously mainly stems from its subject matter, which trivializes the Holocaust and the suffering of millions by presenting it in a simple management simulation format. KZ Manager has, unsurprisingly, faced legal challenges and bans in several countries. The game violates laws in countries that have strict regulations against Holocaust denial, hate speech, and the promotion of Nazi ideology.
Yeah, you don't even see US in there at all. Our country's fucked.
In Germany, for example, where laws are stringent, the game is illegal, and distribution or possession can result in legal action. Ethnic Cleansing is a video game released in 2002 by Resistance Records, an arm of the white supremacist organization, the
Yo, and I guarantee you, like, these games were perfect when they first fucking came out, dude. But, like, now in our day of age, dude, they're all fucked off. Just like having the Redskins had to change their name. I mean, it's back.
National Alliance. The game is built around the concept of racially motivated violence.
Dude, what? Okay, like this is like actually nuts, man. Racial violence.
In the game, players assume the role of a skinhead or a Klansman tasked...
Dude, what? Dude, that's insane! Why are there two guys kissing?
...with killing stereotypically depicted ethnic minorities...
Okay, dude, that's racist as fuck, dude.
In a post-apocalyptic world, culminating in a battle against a Jewish final boss.
Bro.
The game was launched on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 21st, and it was sold for $14.88, which is a nod to the white supremacist 14-word slogan, and the number 88, which is a reference to the 88 precepts by white supremacist David Lynn. Ethnic cleansing is completely legal in the United States, as it's protected by the First Amendment protections on free speech. Its availability was largely limited to online...
Wait. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of the assembly, freedom of everything. Then why the freak did I get banned? Like, I get it. But why did I get banned for saying that one British cigarette thing? I get it. I didn't even say the whole thing.
By the First Amendment protections on free speech. Its availability was largely limited to online sales through the publisher's website or at extremist events, as mainstream platforms, pretty justifiably, refused to carry it. VTech Rampage is a game that was released following the tragic Virginia Tech shooting in April 2007, where
Knock it the freak off now.
32 people lost their lives. The gameplay involves the player navigating through the Virginia Tech campus, controlling a character that resembles the perpetrator in the massacre. Players move through various levels that crudely represent locations in Virginia Tech, with the gameplay mechanics being straightforward, involving navigation through the game's levels, avoiding obstacles, and completing objectives related to the real-life events of the shooting. The legal status of VTech Rampage is a bit complex because it was not sold through traditional retail channels, but rather made available online. As such, it did not face the same kind of regulatory scrutiny or bans that that a commercially released game might encounter. However, the creator of the game faced a lot of personal attacks for trying to profit off of the tragic event. He replied to his critics saying he'd pull the game if people gave him $2,000 in donations. Then, he flipped his stance, saying he wouldn't take it down after all, and admitted he was just messing with the people who wanted the game gone. Ratelay, developed by Illusion in 2006, starts with our character Masaya Kimura being arrested for assaulting a woman. Kimura then seeks vengeance on
Aoi.
the 17-year-old responsible for his arrest. Though as we progress in the game, he decides to extend his plan for revenge beyond
Aoi.
to include her younger sister Manaka, aged 12, and their mother Yuko, aged 42. The game is mainly played in a visual novel format, though its 3D segments are where it gets really bad. The gameplay begins in earnest when Kimura encounters Manaka on a train. Using the mouse to act as Kimura's hand, you can move your cursor to touch the girl, triggering different responses based on where the cursor is moved. Success in the game is measured by filling a gauge on the screen, which varies with where you move your hand. But it gets even worse. After you've moved your cursor enough, she will eventually lose her clothes and shamefully try to cover herself with her hands. The gameplay basically follows the same loop as you degrade and assault all three of them, until you eventually manage to corner and capture them all. Kimura...
Dude, these guys are dude. I get like wanting to like make whatever games you want and like freedom and everything like that, but dude, this shit is insane. Dude, that's a little girl!
then reveals his plan to make them all his servants. Despite the mother Yuko's attempts to bargain for her daughter's freedom with her own compliance, Kimura refuses to let any of them go. The game leads to two bizarre endings, both ending in Kimura's demise. In the black ending, Kimura
What does demise mean?
a child with one of the women and decides to keep the baby. Shortly after, Kimura's at the subway station when he gets pushed onto subway tracks and is hit by a train. The equally weird red ending shows
Aoi.
taking revenge by fatally attacking Kimura while laughing uncontrollably. The game then concludes with
Aoi.
being interrogated by the police about Kimura's death. In Japan, the game initially didn't cause much stir, as it was pretty much seen as just another adult game. However, by 2009, it sparked international outrage, highlighted by British MP Keith Vaz's discovery of its sale on Amazon, leading to its quick removal from the site. Then, due to the outcry, the Ethics Organization of Computer Software, which is like the ESRB of Japan, completely restricted its sale, effectively banning it worldwide, including in Japan. The controversy then spread further to Australia and Argentina, where it was made outright illegal. Despite some defending the game's content, the backlash was significant, causing Illusion to remove it from their website and stop its distribution. Illusion to this day still makes adult games despite all the controversy, though under a new company called Ill Games. 177 is centered around, like every game on this list, a highly controversial and sensitive topic. It is named after a Japanese criminal legislation paragraph that forbids, and in direct contrast to its name, the game involves controlling a character who pursues a fleeing young girl with the intent to assault her. The gameplay involves navigating through various obstacles and other characters to catch the female character.
Dude, what is
the
wrong
game actually
with
has
people?
two different endings. One of the endings is if the player catches the female character, the game will play a graphic and explicit cutscene where you can mash a button to simulate. Once you've done that, the game shows a picture of you and the girl happily married.
Bro,
Or in the
what?
bad ending, which happens if you fail to catch the woman. She will eventually reach her house to call the police and get you arrested. Zog's Nightmare was developed and released by the National Socialist Movement, a neo-Nazi organization in the United States, and it's basically the spiritual successor to ethnic cleansing. The title, Zog's Nightmare, is based on the acronym ZOG, which stands for Zionist Occupied Government, a concept embraced by anti-Semitic groups to claim that the government is covertly run by Jews. In the game, you basically do what you were doing in ethnic cleansing, engaging in combat against a variety of groups and individuals considered adversaries by the game's creators, including people from different races and ethnic backgrounds, allegedly under Jewish influence. Super Columbine Massacre RPG
Okay,
is
dude,
a
okay, this is actually fun.
2005 role-playing game by Danny Ladon.
Of course this guy made it! Look at him! Dude, he looks like... Who does he look like, dude? He looks like somebody, dude, from a movie. What does he look... Dude, you do not need that game, chill. Dude, Dude, he looks like somebody. Oh, he looks like Beavis Fuckus! Fuckus! No. Dude, who is that? Fuckus? What is it? That Fuckus dude? No, he doesn't look like me, dude. What is that guy's name? Tism Fuckus, yeah.
that simulates the tragic Columbine High School attack of 1999 from the viewpoint of the perpetrators, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. The game begins on the morning of April 20th, 1999, showing Harris getting a wake-up call from his mom before he and Klebold meet to go over their attack plans. We then play through them preparing for the attack.
Wait, that was a fucking dude. Is that an actual true fucking class photo of them? Oh my god. Yeah, I just seen that, Rebel. Yeah, holy fuck.
In the game, players guide Harris and Klebold in placing propane explosives within the premises. When these explosives do not go off as intended, the characters still choose to go ahead with their plan. The game puts players in charge of steering these characters through the school, and the outcome, including how many are harmed, hinges on how many enemies you decide to attack. The game then concludes with the characters committing which is then followed by a weird dreamy slideshow of pictures of the attackers and real scenes of grief taken after the attack. The game then shifts into an imaginary depiction of Klebold in hell, where he fights demons and encounters bizarre characters, including video game icons and historical figures. The narrative then wraps up with a return to the school for a press conference, poking fun at the real-world responses to the tragedy and addressing controversies over gun laws, religious extremism, and the media's blame of Marilyn Manson and video games. And that concludes our video. I'll be making more videos like this, so if you enjoyed, subscribe.
Dude, that's fucking dude, maybe they made that game as like a fucking what is it? Like a educational thing, but dude, it's just fucked up, dude. Like, how do you do that? Like, you know what I mean?